So we're sitting in Clio Suite in La Belle Esplanade. Gotta say it, right? #1 place to stay in New Orleans, according to TripAdvisor, since April 2014. #2 place to stay in the United States, number 16 in the world. I don't rattle this off, sound like I'm bored because I'm not proud of it. I'm super proud of it, okay? However, I do say it a lot, so you hear it a lot if you're watching these videos. So we're in Clio Suite, which is a very big suite, and I'm looking up here. It says New Orleans loves you on the wall, and Alyssa painted that. That's Phil's girlfriend. She does the lettering on Mardi Gras floats. So when I learned that, I asked her to come over, and she painted stuff on the walls in here, little sayings. So Clio, what is that? That's one of the 9 muses. You would pronounce it Cleo, C-L-I-O, muse of history. And there's some streets in the Garden District. We call them the Muses Streets because they're named after the 9 muses. And you mispronounce almost every single one of them. So instead of saying Cleo, you say Clio. Instead of saying Calliope, you say Calliope. Terpsichore is Terpsichore. Or you would say Terpsichore, and then the people here would say Terpsichore. They say both, which can be confusing. One time I met the mayor, and we just moved here, and he was getting coffee in front of me. He was standing in line. He turns around, he said, "Hey, I'm Mitch." I'm like, "Yeah, I know who you are. I'm Matthew King." Like, you should know who I am. And he said, "Where you live?" And I said, "Well, we just moved down here from Boston." He said, "Oh, Boston? What'd you move down here for? It's so nice there." I'm like, "Hold on a second. This mayor should be saying it's better down here," which I happen to think it is, by the way. So I told him, I didn't like living in Boston, so that we moved to the opposite of Boston, which is New Orleans. And so he says, "Well, where do you live?" And I've asked my mailman, "How do I pronounce this street name?" And he says, Terpsichore, which is the correct way if you're speaking Greek, which is what the 9 muses were, Greek mythology. So I say Terpsichore, and he looks at me, and he says, "You mean Terpsichore?" I'm like, "You're the mayor, I don't know. If you don't know, I don't know," okay? So you do hear it both ways. Anyhow, Euterpe is Euterpe, Erato is Erato, and what's left? Polyhymnia is actually just shortened to Polymnia, and I'm sure I'm missing one, but they're all mispronounced. Anyhow, we're talking to my lovely assistant here, Miss Richardson, who asked me 1 or 2 questions depending on how long I talk. It takes me to answer them, so I have no idea what she's going to ask me. She's going to ask me cold, boom, and then I'm going to see what I got stored up in the old noggin. So, ready? Hit me.
Since we're in your Mardi Gras room, is there any significance behind the names of our Mardi Gras crews?
You would think so, wouldn't you? And the answer to that is basically no. Now, remember, we have a minimum of 54 crews in the city itself. I'm not talking about out in the suburbs. In the city itself, we have 54 parades with floats. Okay. Why are you looking at me like that?
I know of like 7 of them.
All right, look, here's the thing. Let me explain to our audience here. Ms. Richardson is a native Louisianan. What parish are you from?
St. Charles.
St. Charles, so River Parish, which is upper, you're what, 1, 2, 3 parishes from here. Mm-hmm. Got Orleans, Jefferson, St. Charles. That's where you're from?
Yes.
Okay, so St. Charles. So you got Jefferson Parish in the middle. Right after Kenner, where the airport is, beautiful Kenner, you have St. Charles Parish. And the town you grew up in is?
St. Rose.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's beautiful there. God's country. Anyhow, so up in St. Charles Parish, it's all little towns. There's no city to speak of, correct?
Correct.
And you do have Mardi Gras up there, right?
Oh, we come to St. Jefferson Parish or Orleans.
Jefferson Parish, Family Gras.
They have one parade in St. Charles down Norco.
Norco, okay.
The Norco Parade,
yes.
That's what they call it.
That stands for something. It's like Northern Oil Refinery Company or something like that. Did you know that?
We call it Cancer Alley.
I know it's called Cancer Alley. I know. People they say, we're gonna drive up the Mississippi River. And I'm like, well, you can, but it's not scenic per se, because between here and Baton Rouge, Cancer Alley, you got the levee on one side, so you're looking at a wall of grass, and then you look at all these chemical plants and oil refineries on the other side. So have a good time, folks.
Every once in a while, you run into a plantation.
Yeah,
There's
there
like
is. Yeah.
two out there.
Yeah, like carved out of the refinery land. I know, that's right. St. Francis Plantation, I think we went to up there. But anyhow, we're talking about Mardi Gras, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, so no, we have 54 parades with floats in New Orleans itself. Okay, and it goes on for 4 weeks. So everybody says, "Oh, Mardi Gras is just one day, Fat Tuesday," right? No, Mardi Gras is a whole season. So this is gonna answer and not answer your question at the same time. Ready? Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because we're in for the long haul. So Mardi Gras starts on January 6th, okay, every year, and then Mardi Gras Day changes every year, okay, depending on when Easter is. So sometimes we have a long Mardi Gras season, sometimes we have a short Mardi Gras season, okay? But Mardi Gras Day is the big day. However, that said, 4 weeks before Mardi Gras, 4 weekends before Mardi Gras is when parade season starts now. So we have parades on the 4th weekend before Mardi Gras, 3rd weekend before Mardi Gras, we have parades. And then the 2nd weekend before Mardi Gras, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have 3-4 parades a day with the big floats on St. Charles Avenue. Okay, that's when that really starts. It's 2 weeks before Mardi Gras. And then we take Monday and Tuesday off. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have 3-4 parades a day. Then we have Lundi Gras, which has its own traditions and its own parades. And then it's Mardi Gras Day itself, which is the most magical day of the year where we have 3-4 parades, 4 parades. So there's 54 big float parades altogether. Then there's all these marching crews, okay, which also have names. And there's all sorts of informal marching parades around the city, which you don't hear about. Most people don't know anything about it, but they're there. And believe me, they go past my house. So the first Mardi Gras crew was the Mystical Crew of Comos. And crew, folks, is spelled Krewe, okay? And mystical is actually spelled with a K, not a C. So Mystical Crew of Comus. And Comus is the oldest Mardi Gras crew. And they started 1870, 1880 something, okay? And they did the first parade. And then other crews formed and joined in. And so after Comus is Momus. And then I lose track, okay, of who's what. Because a lot of parades have come and gone. Crews have formed and then finally disappeared and died off. But those two have always been the two oldest. And Rex is the king of carnivals. So the crew of Rex is the one that you really see on Mardi Gras Day going down to St. Charles Avenue. So Rex, of course, is named after the king. Rex, Latin word, right? You know that? Taught you that? Taught you that in St. Rose. Rex is the Latin word for king, okay? So the king of carnival is named Rex.
That makes sense.
And they call him Rex, okay? So like on Lundi Gras, which is the day before Mardi Gras, in a newspaper, on the front page, here's a picture of His Majesty Rex and the Queen of Rex, okay? And his queen. And they just call him Rex. He's Rex. Just like they call Comus, Comus, and they call Momus, Momus. Other people don't do that so much. So, other crews. So you have the crew of Druids. What is that? Who knows? You have the crew of Tucks. That's a crew, they're named after Friar Tuck's, which was a bar on Ferret Street. So it was a bunch of Tulane Avenue students said, you know what, we're going to form a crew. They hung out at Friar Tuck's, which is his notorious college bar, not in business anymore. And they formed a crew. They've been around 30-something years, maybe 36 years now. They throw toilet paper, right? It's great. Mm-hmm. But you have this crew of Spartacus. Does that mean they're gladiators? No, it just means they pick a name. They just pick a name. The crew of Muses is an all-women's crew. The Queen of Muses rides in a big shoe, right? You seen that? Mm-hmm. And they throw shoes. What does shoes have to do with Muses? Nothing, okay? And we talked about the Muses recently, today, sometime. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't this video, keep watching, folks. It's on another one. And so the names are just names, okay? They pick. Some take it more seriously than others. So the crew of Joan of Arc, for instance, is one of the crews that opens up Mardi Gras season. So crews roll, okay? They don't march, they roll. They roll on January 6th to open up the season, along with the Funny 40 Fellows, which is from 1898 is when those guys started, okay? And now I don't even think that the Funny 40 Fellows are, which is all spelled with PH. I don't think they're all men anymore. I think they have women in it. And I think there's more than 40 of them. But they get on a streetcar and they have a brass band in the streetcar and they throw beads at the streetcar. It goes down St. Charles Avenue. So that's, and when the crew of Joan of Arc started, I think it's 13 years this year. When they formed, they had to negotiate with the Funny 40 Fellows because they built first, can we roll on January 6th? And the fellows were like, well, why January 6th? Because that's Joan of Arc's birthday. Okay? They said, why not the feast day? Because the feast day is in June. All right, Joan's feast day. So for the crew of Joan of Arc, they take it very seriously. And this is a walking parade, not big floats. It's a walking parade. Everybody dresses up in medieval costume. And it's a candlelight parade that goes through the French Quarter. And every year they pick a girl. She gets examined in French, and she's tested for her knowledge of French and Joan of Arc and history and things like that, and civics. And she has to be 16 years old. And the girl who wins, she gets to portray Joan of Arc in the parade. She leads the parade. She dresses up in armor and rides a white horse, and we call her Joni on the pony. She's followed by 2 other people who represent the King and Queen of France, and then everybody follows behind in this candlelight walking parade through the quarter. It's well worth seeing, and people are like, well, I don't want to go to Mardi Gras. No, you don't want to go to Bourbon Street for Mardi Gras, right? Otherwise, it's a family holiday. It's all sorts of magic going on. Mardi Gras is totally worth it. And so it's very hard to tell people what it's like if they don't live here. You know, like, what are you celebrating? Relax, just enjoy yourself. You don't need to understand everything. Just like, what does this crew name mean? Look, the people who are in the crew, they know. They're happy with it. That's all you need to know. Like Endymion, you know, which rolls through our neighborhood. We went to the Endymion den. All crews have a den, right? So we went to the den. Been a couple times. And, it's a big deal when they show the floats for the first time out of the year. And they have bands, you know, kids are cooking out, hot dogs, all sorts of stuff going on. It's really amazing. But Endymion he's again, from Greek mythology. Most of this stuff comes from Greek mythology. Except for Thoth, of course, it comes from Egyptian. But who was Endymion? I don't want to say, because I'll get it wrong. I think I know, but I don't want to say. So anyhow, all the names are whatever the names they are, and you don't place a lot of thought to it. If the people in the crew, they know what they know, and they do all sorts of secret stuff, and you don't need to know. That's all it boils down to. So just go, enjoy the parade, catch whatever they're throwing, and have a good time. Happy Mardi Gras, right?
Yeah.
So that's that. We're going to wrap this one up because I've been talking at length for whatever reason. She never hears me talk this much unless it's for filming. So, on that note, get yourself to New Orleans. Come for Mardi Gras, absolutely. I only say come for Mardi Gras, but come any time of year because you know what? Any time of year is nice. My favorite time of year is now, which is summer. However, when you come, you're going to tell me every day how hot it is, and it rains every afternoon. I'm well aware of that. But there's nobody here, so you get the whole run of the city. You never have to make reservations for anything. The price for everything drops. Not here, mind you, but everywhere else. You know, if you go to restaurants and whatnot, all sorts of special deals, and it's nice. And everybody's just relaxed, and you're not. You're here with people who live here. Any other time of year, you go down to the French Quarter and you meet your neighbors from wherever you're from. Okay, but this time of year, they're going wherever they're going, and you can come here to New Orleans. Anyhow. Come anytime. Stay at La Belle Esplanade. Why? Because it's wonderful here. You get to talk to me even more and pick my brain. That's what I'm here for. So I love to share New Orleans, and there's plenty to know about it. So on that note, have yourselves a great New Orleans day, my friends. Votre santé, labelleesplanade.com. Check it out. Ciao.